So today I had some challenging conversations with our product development team due to how projects are scoped out and how much they change from that initial scope. So if you're somebody who has a team of product developers, software developers, or where you're creating something with a team of people, this could be really relevant to you. So keep on watching, keep on listening. Welcome back to consecutive day 1772 of a diary of a Runpreneur. And today's topic is all about the frustrations between kind of company founder and product development team. So before we get into the topic at hand, don't forget this vlog is part of a fundraiser of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style. And the more people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. So back to the topic at hand. The kind of conflict between company founder and product development team. So had not a heated debate, but a bit of conflict today. As always, this is kind of part of my diary of a Runpreneur, so I talk a lot about my business endeavours, running, etc. And today I had a meeting with my product development team as we are fast kind of launching a new digital product, and we have paying customers coming through, and we have lots of things to get done prior to introducing them to our paid customer base. And the challenges we have is that there's this constant battle between founder or creator and product development team. And the issue is, and I take responsibility of this, absolutely, is that my scope for what I wanted the product to be was potentially unrealistic at the beginning. And in actual fact, we've been doing some testing today, and we've actually kind of pulled out some of the kind of elements of the product that have been taken hours and hours, days and days, some of them, even weeks to create, and I've almost disregarded them because they haven't done what I wanted them to do. And you can probably imagine, as a product development team, this can be quite demoralizing when you've spent hours, days, weeks on developing something only for it to be pulled at the 11th hour. And ultimately we did come to kind of an agreement as a team that, look, unfortunately we're not pulling this for good, but I don't believe it's ready to be introduced to the clients. I think we can test this further, iterate it further, and develop it further behind the scenes, and launch it as a kind of a software update maybe 2 or 3 months away when we've got a bit more capacity. But let's get the bare essentials, the MVP, minimum viable product, built first. And there was agreement behind that. And I think what we've actually understood now, because this is something that's relatively new to me, I've not in the past done a lot of kind of product development work where I've been scoping out projects to be built, and invariably what you set out to build in day one can be very, very different to what the finished product is, especially when you start going through various iterations of testing. And that's ultimately what's happened. And fortunately my product development manager understands this process and understands that invariably there's going to be a lot of work, time and effort into things that may or may not be part of the product when it's launched, but ultimately these are things that be developed further before introducing them at a later stage. And I think from my perspective, what I've learned from this whole scenario is practice what I preach ultimately. So the learnings from my diary are that if you are working with a product development team, software development team, where you're trying to build something, it's the scope of the project that you kind of give to your team initially invariably could be very, very different to what the end product turns out to be. That's just the evolution of a product, iterations, modifications, development. That's the whole process of it. But I think the key thing is not to disregard the work and effort that the team will have put into something. You have to be a little bit sensitive about it, because these are people who probably put their blood, sweat and tears into something only for the person whose idea it was to either go, well, no, I don't really like that, or pull that. So you have to be quite sensitive. And what I've kind of learned is that I've talked a lot about this Pareto's law, the 80-20 principle. You know, what they're focusing on 20% of the inputs to get 80% of the outputs, and vice versa in some regards. So that's what we're trying to focus on. So I've actually, now when I do my scopes, I kind of strip them back further, you know, try and strip it down to 20% of what the original scope was, what's going to deliver 80% of what I was trying to get. And then once we get to that stage, we can then have a phase 2 of development. It's almost like asking, well, what's the minimum we need here to make this work and function? And then evolve it and build it from there. And when you do that, you kind of reduce the friction, reduce the kind of issues of what I face today. And it's certainly quite a humbling learning experience for me doing this, because ultimately I've learned that scoping out projects and things, I've got a lot of work to be done to perfect it. But I think fixing things, the biggest issue is identifying that there's an issue. Once you've identified there's an issue, you can then work on the solution and how you're fixing it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Any questions or comments, please drop me a line. Anything relevant I'll respond to. Do remember, if you believe in my mission of saving the lives of children by attempting the ultimate ultramarathon of run vlogging on consecutive days, a distance of a lap of the world, barefoot style, then do give this a subscribe, share, like and comment. More people we get in front of, more money we raise, more children's lives we save, which is why I do this every single day. Thank you as always, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you again tomorrow.